So over the last several weeks, there's been a lot of conversation about what's going on in the city for everybody to adjust to the new COVID virus situation. And as I think about that, there have been a lot of great stories told. There have been a lot of heroes identified, but there's been somebody and an organization that's been flying under the radar for so many of us, and I think for the media also. And that organization is the Mobile County Public School System. I have with me today at double arm's length, Superintendent of Education, Chresal Threadgill. And in our conversations over the last few days, I've come to realize that what he has done is almost superhuman. It certainly ranks up with anything that our hospitals have collectively done. And so what I'm going to do in this conversation is just prompt him with a few questions along the way to tell us the things that he is engaged in and the challenges that he has had to overcome, because to put it in perspective, the mayor only has 2,200 people working for him, working in the city, let's say. And that's a lot of moving parts, and so we're engaged in a lot of things. But Mr. Threadgill has 53,000 students and the teachers that have to teach them and the parents that he's had to engage with to help homeschool them. So I'm going to start off by just asking Mr. Threadgill, when you set out, I think you told me, if I remember right, that your first mission was, how am I going to feed these 53,000 children? So why don't you just tell us the story?
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Basically, our goal was to make sure that we were providing breakfast as well as lunch for all of our students, and still keep that social distance and not have more than 10 people. So that in itself is a challenge. We actually have 21 prepping sites where the food is prepared, and we are delivering to 66 sites. I just want to give a shout out to all our cafeteria workers, managers, bus drivers, and all of our volunteers who are still feeding and providing breakfast and lunch for all of our students. I think we are estimate of serving with breakfast and lunch, serving over 50,000 meals per day, which is probably over 250,000 meals per week, which is awesome. Hopefully we can continue providing that service. We're keeping our fingers crossed, but we have so many dedicated volunteers from the central office, teachers, principals who've been volunteering their time, not getting paid, to help provide lunches and breakfast for the students.
And so do they drive in to pick up the lunches, or do you happen to deliver some of them?
We do both. We have 21 prep sites, which means they can come in and do a drive-through and pick up their lunches. Mm-hmm. And we also fill the bus up with lunches, and we go to 66 different sites to drop off lunches. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Well, that is amazing. So then you have all these children that are at home. Many of them don't have the internet. They don't have Wi-Fi. They don't have devices. But you've got to do something to keep them engaged. So what did you do?
Well, we had this beautiful plan, academic plan. Kudos to my central office academic team. We had to create the plan, and then we had to implement the plan, and it's our pre-K through 11th grade plan. But then we thought about the options of online instruction as well as televised instruction. So then we had another huge challenge, and that challenge was the kids don't have internet. Some of our kids don't have devices. Some of them don't even have televisions. So we had to quickly send out a survey to all the homes and to get an idea of what students did not have devices, did not have internet, or just poor connectivity. So then we had to purchase devices and Wi-Fi's, and we started delivering devices, internet. We even delivered some TVs, to be honest with you. And I do want to recognize the 2 local channels that we have here that are partnering with us. We actually have, they created a channel just for Mobile County Public Schools, and we have teachers from all grade levels in all subject areas being taught all day. It is amazing. We've actually received calls from other states because they want to pick up our platform to have in their school district. So, and all of this was done in 2 weeks. It is simply amazing.
So is that what you call your comprehensive plan?
Yes, it's our comprehensive academic plan.
Yeah. So, but even prior to that, you had to come up with packets that you sent to the house just to keep the children engaged there for a couple of weeks, right?
We called it enrichment, and it was hard copy packets, and it was not for a grade. It was just to keep them engaged until we could come up with a plan to close out the school. But while we were doing that, we had another issue that we had to address, and that was, of course, our seniors.
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
And what we did with that was the seniors that were on track to graduate for 3rd quarter, they received notification from me saying that you will receive your diploma with no additional work. Now, unfortunately, there are some students who were not on track to graduate. So they received a certified letter from me notifying them that there were some other requirements that they needed to do to graduate before June 5th. Now, some of those seniors did not have devices and internet and TVs and all of those things, so we had to provide those essential tools so they could be successful, so they could graduate and get their diplomas.
That's amazing. So in the go-along of this, have there been many things that you've learned about things that y'all can do differently going forward just when things return to whatever the new norm is?
Right. So we now have realized that we can remotely educate students. So this is going to change our normal. We're actually looking at, we don't know what the summer is going to hold. And of course, there are some students that need summer school. So we're looking at actually having an online summer school. So this is going to change the whole makeup of how education will look in the future.
Yeah. For Mobile County Public School System.
Mobile County Public School System.
You know, it's been more than a year now that I said this, but it's probably been a couple of years to really transform the city of Mobile. If we don't transform the public school system and get it to where it should be, the mayor and others who are doing things, we really can't fix the city. And I hope that everybody that's listening to this understands that what you've done is nothing short of Herculean, you and your team that have done this. And I think it's indicative of embracing new ideas and a can-do attitude of we've got to make it happen. And I so often hear you refer to those students as your babies.
Those are my babies.
And all I can tell you is from the mayor's perspective, I am tremendously grateful for what you're doing. And I sense and I hope that the parents are and the rest of the community. So thank you for what you're doing.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, I do want to mention, I would be remiss if I did not mention my parents. I'm sure they're overwhelmed. You know,
these are the parents of your babies.
The parents of my babies, absolutely.
Right.
Because we had to get them prepared to facilitate school. And some of them are still working, hard workers, and now they're having to facilitate school at home, and that could be very stressful. So I just want to tell the parents, thank you so much for their patience and their hard work and dedication to their children and to my babies. We also have created a website just for our parents. I think it's user friendly. It's very easy to navigate, but it has all the resources that they need to be successful. We've also set up a hotline for them to call to troubleshoot, that if they have any questions, for us to be able to answer. I also have informed my people to make sure that we have good customer service because these parents are overwhelmed. So my hat's off to the parents, and I just want to thank them so much for supporting us and entrusting us that we're going to do the best for their students, for my babies.
Yeah. Well, if it wasn't for the social distancing, I'd give you a fist bump,
Right.
but since we can't do that, we'll just know that I owe you one. And look, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I'll also say it's pretty cool to be on the side of asking the questions instead of having to answer them, okay?
All right.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you.